Hello everyone, welcome to TTV News with some last event in Tay Ninh province. Ladies and gentlemen, since 2020, Trang Bang town has focused on implementing the criteria to achieve array 3 urban area. That's a province directly controlled city, striving to be recognized as a city by 2025.
Up to now, Trang Bang town has achieved 83% of the urban standard of grade number 3. Trang Bang has achieved the criterion of a city of grade 4 in 2018 and established a town in 2020. Since then, Trang Bang has focused on mobilizing all resources, efforts to improve the criteria, at the same time overcome the limited criteria of grade number 4 city to meet the criteria of grade number 3 cities. Up to now, Trang Bang has basically met the criteria of grade number 3 city and reaching about 53/59 standards and about 83.05 per 100 points. Compared with the urban development program of the province and the resolution of the party conference of Trang Bang town, the progress of building grade 3 urban area is currently meeting the set requirements. In the future development orientation of Trang Bang town will be the center of industry, urban area, logistics, ports, and ecotourism of the province. And ladies and gentlemen, on May the 12th, the Provincial Department of Science and Technology, in collaboration with the Provincial Youth Union, held a workshop of intellectual property and the young generation. Innovation promotes digital transformation. This event came to celebrate the World Innovation Day, World Intellectual Property Day, and towards the celebration of Vietnam Science and Technology Day of May the 18th. The workshop aims to raise awareness of the young generation about the importance of protecting intellectual property rights in creating products, creating creativity in the process of working and learning, contributing to creating motivation for the youth union members to boldly innovate in learning, production, and labor for a better future. Youth Union members listened to the reporter Trang Bang, head of the representative office of the National Office of Intellectual Property in Ho Chi Minh City, presenting the following topics: law on intellectual property, the role of intellectual property rights in encouraging innovation and creativity, measures to build, protect, and exploit intellectual property in innovative startups, digital transformation, new issues of intellectual property in the fourth industrial revolution. At the workshop, Mr. Ngô Kim Lân, director of Smart VietLinkage Education Joint Stock Company, also presented a presentation of VietLinkage intellectual property-based innovation startup experience. Quality Management Department, Provincial Department of Science and Technology introduced the mechanisms and policies to support startup innovation and development of intellectual property of the province.
Ladies and gentlemen, for 5 years, the Department of Natural Resources and Environment has granted nearly 600 licenses to operate in the field of water resources. Violations in this area have decreased significantly compared to before.
From 2016 to the end of 2021, the Department of Natural Resources and Environment issues a total of about 594 licenses to operate in the field of water resources, including the areas such as adjusting and extending the discharge of treated wastewater into water resources, exploitation and use of underground water exploitation and use of water surface, and 3 licenses for small and medium-sized underground water drilling. Also this time, the Department of Natural Resources and Environment carried out 41 inspection tours of the units, and through inspection, detecting an organization that violates regulation on water resource protection, and administrative fines about 8 million Vietnam dong was imposed. The Department of Natural Resources and Environment said that, compared with the period of 2011 to 2015, the number of violations has decreased sharply. In order to protect groundwater more closely, the Department of Natural Resources and Environment of Tay Ninh Province is advising the Provincial People's Committee to implement the topic, defining and joining to limit underground water exploitation in Tay Ninh Province. And ladies and gentlemen, according to the Vietnam Association of Foreign Invested Enterprises, since the National Assembly passed the law on foreign investment in Vietnam in 1987, the foreign invested economic sector has continuously developed, making an important contribution to the development of the economy, focusing on the country's economic growth and innovating the growth model towards industrialization and modernization, promoting the international economic integration and rise of Vietnam's position in the world. The FDI sector currently accounts for 25% of the total social investment, 55% of the total value of industrial production in Vietnam, and more than 70% of the country's export turnover. The share of FDI sector in the total exports has increased from 26.3% in the 1989 to 1996 period to about 70.5% in period of 2016 to 2020. And in 2021, the export turnover of the FDI sector reached about 246.7 billion US dollar, up to 20.7% over a previous year and accounting for 73.6% of the total export turnover of the whole country. In addition, the FDI economic sector has also directly created jobs for about 4.6 million people, or more than 7% of the country's labor force, and also indirectly created jobs for millions of others. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a great impact on the development of the economy in general. However, Vietnam's e-commerce market still achieved outstanding growth. In recent years, Vietnam's e-commerce market has been increasingly expanded and has now become a popular business method known to businesses and the people. The diversity of operating models, participants, operating processes, and supply chains of goods and services with the support of internet infrastructure and the modern technology application has made e-commerce become an important pillar in the development of the country's digital economy. According to the Department of E-commerce and Digital Economy under Ministry of Industry and Trade, e-commerce Vietnam has strongest and most attractive growth in the Southeast Asia. In 2020, the growth rate of Vietnam's e-commerce is 18%, becoming the only country in the Southeast Asia with double-digit growth. Therefore, cross-border e-commerce will be the fastest channel to connect directly with customers, effectively supporting the traditional distribution channel between the business brand is promoted directly in the import market. And this method, on the other hand, will help reduce business costs, moreover, help distribute products to end users, help develop and maintain the brand's products in the import market. And to exploit the benefits of cross-border e-commerce, the businesses need to seize opportunities and be professional in risk identification and dispute resolution.
Building new style rural areas so that the material and spiritual life of the rural people is rich and prosperous. The rural economy develops strongly. Agricultural production is associated with the development of trade, service, and tourism. These are the goals in the implementation, orientation of the National Target Program on Building New Style Rural Areas for the periods of 2021-2025.
These are the goals in the implementation orientation of the National Target Program on Building New Style Rural Areas for the period of 2021 to 2025. Accordingly, striving by 2025 at the provincial level and nationwide, there are at least 15 provinces recognized by the Prime Minister to complete the task of building new style rural areas, in which the Southeast region consists of 4 provinces. At district level, the whole country has 40% of district towns and cities directly under the province to complete the task of building new style rural areas, in which the Southeast region gets 70% and the Mekong River Delta about 35%. Its provinces and centrally run cities have at least 2 district-level units that meet the rural standards, in which at least 10% of districts that meet the standard are recognized as newly enhanced and model rural districts. And according to the Central Coordination Office of New Rural Construction in 2021, the National Target Program on Building New Rural Areas has exceeded the targets assigned by the government and the Prime Minister. Specifically, the whole country has more than 5,600 communes meeting new rural standards, accounting for 68.2%, an increase of 5.8% compared to 2020, in which more than 500 communes have met the new advanced rural standards and 43 communes have met the new model rural standards. And with Tay Ninh Province in 2021, the People's Committee of Tay Ninh Province set a goal to have in 10 more communes meet the criteria of building a new style rural area. However, with the consensus, high determination of the whole political system and the spirit of overcoming difficulties of each locality, by the end of the year, 10 more communes in the province were recognized as the new rural standards. The province has maintained 45 over 71 communes have met the standards of rural areas, and one commune has reached the standards of advanced rural areas. Strive to add 10 more communes to meet the new rural standard, increasing the total number of communes meeting the standards by the end of 2021 to about 55 over 71 communes. From a low starting point, local people have a poor material and spiritual life, mainly depend on agricultural production. The socio-economic infrastructure has not yet met the development requirements, and the difficult transportation is a big obstacle for the communes. However, with the efforts and perseverance of the party committees and authorities at all levels and the active support of the local people, the emulation movement to build new style rural area has brought results. The program of building new style rural areas step by step into the life. The rural appearance has been increasingly renewed. The material and spiritual life of the rural population has been improved remarkably. The mobilization of the people energy to participate in the construction of new rural area also has been promoted, especially the donation of land for construction for rural infrastructure works and the contribution of working days to the construction of new rural areas. And these support the development and replication of the effective production models, promoting local products with a long-term stability, forming a concentrated commodity production area with joint ventures and association with enterprises and associated with the implementation of one commune, one product program. And Mr. Trang Bang, Vice Chairman of Tay Ninh Provincial People's Committee, said that after 10 years of implementing the program to build new rural areas, the movement Tay Ninh joins forces to build new style rural areas has been actively received by all classes of people in the province. Respond to participate, each level and branch has clearly defined ways and rules suitable to the local contribution and local conditions, promoting the role of the party cell from hamlets and residential area, and direct the role of each household to contribute to changing the face of the countryside, the rural areas, and the material and spiritual life of the local people is improved remarkably. And with the positive result achieved, Tay Ninh continues to carry out the emulation movement. Tay Ninh joins hands to build new style rural areas in the period of 2021 to 2025, with the goal of striving to have 26 communes meet the standards of rural areas, including 2 border communes. 36 communes meet the standard of advanced new rural communes, including 10 border communes. In parallel, the province tried to have 12 standard model communes, and there are 6 districts that met the standards of rural areas, and Trang Bang Town to complete the task of building new rural areas. 100% of communes and wards met the standards, improving the quality of life for the rural residents, and the average income by 2025 will be 1.8 times that of 2020. And to achieve the above goals, the Tay Ninh Provincial People's Committee has identified 9 key tasks and 4 main solutions, aiming to maintain and improve the quality of communes that have met the new rural standards as prescribed and associated with agricultural restructuring, modernizing industry, increase the added value, and improve the sustainability at the same time, ensuring the tasks, targets, capital structure requirements for the construction of the rural standards, communes, advanced rural communes, and model rural communes, as well as the new style rural districts and towns to complete the program of building new style rural areas.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for TTV News today. Thanks for joining with us and see you next time.